Okay, so I will be doing a voiceover for this video, and I am using the ColourPop brow pencil in the shade Black and Brown right now. I am just gonna slowly like brush and kind of start to fill in my brow because unfortunately your girl was not blessed with full brows. So I have had my bad brow days. I'm still learning, you never stop learning. So this is just what works for me personally. I normally start by like shading the bottom part and like creating that arch look. So then once I'm done with the bottom, I kind of start shading in on the top part. Again, sticking with like that arch look. And then I'll slowly just kind of start to fill it in. So once it's like fully shaded in, I'm gonna grab the spoolie on the other side and kind of just like brush off any harsh lines. Okay, so I'm gonna clean up my brows with the Morphe M421. This is my favorite brush. Oh, sorry, it was upside down. Morphe M421 with the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Creamy Beige. I'm gonna dab a little bit on my hand and try my best to keep that arch. So with that brush, I'll try my best to kind of blend out the concealer underneath my brow. If not, I'll just like use my finger to blend out the rest of the concealer that's left. So that's sort of what your brow should look like once you clean up the bottom. Now I'm gonna start cleaning up the top, trying my best to keep that arch in its place. So then again, whatever's left, I'll just either blend it out with a brush or I'll use my fingers to blend out any of the remaining concealer. This is just how I personally like my brows. Again, whatever works for me might not work for you. So up next, we're gonna prime the eyelid with the Urban Decay primer. Dot a little bit on my eyelids and just kind of spread it out with my fingers. It is sometimes easier when you use a brush, especially when you got claws like mine, but today I will just be using my fingers. So once I've gotten it like all over my lid, I normally like to set it with a eyeshadow, but today I will be using the Airspun with the Morphe Y11. I'm just gonna grab a little bit off of the lid and kind of set that primer on my eye. And now finally, time for the eyes. I will be using the ColourPop Dream Street Kathleen Lights palette. It's one of my favorite ones. It has like the perfect colors for my eyes. I'm gonna grab this little mini Eco Tools little blending brush. It came like in a travel size. I'm gonna dip into the shade Stardust, which is like a peachy color. With Stardust, I'm just going to be going back and forth. As you can see, that's going to be used as my transition color. Transition colors are always best at helping you blend out everything better. So I'm going to bring Stardust all the way up to like underneath my brow. It's just so you can give it that like fading effect, you would say. I'm not sure. I really don't know how to word this. This is like my first video, but if you like it, just let me know. I'm gonna grab the shade Twinkle in this Wet n Wild fluffy brush. It's kind of like a skin tone color, and I'm gonna mix Twinkle right underneath Stardust. Remember, blending is key. Just blend those beautiful two transition colors together. I'm gonna continue building up the color with the same two colors that I've been using, Stardust and Twinkle. I'm just gonna continue blending. This is what it should look like after blending both Stardust and Twinkle together. You can continue putting on more color, but this is just where I like the transition to stop. With a Morphe Y17, I'm gonna pick up Water Bear. It's like an orangey shade, and I'm gonna pop that like right on the outer corner, just like that. And I'm gonna just blend that in. I'm going to grab that same Wet n Wild fluffy brush that I was using and just continue to blend out Water Bear to make sure that there aren't any like harsh lines. I can't stress how important blending is. Like, count how many times I have said blending in this video. Next, I'm gonna grab this Morphe brush. It came in a set, so I'm not really sure what's the name of it. I'm gonna dip into the shade Moony, which is this really pretty chocolate brown on this outer corner that you see right here. My best advice to you is to just gently pack on the color. It's better to add on because you can never take away. So just gently tap into that shade Moony and just blend in that outer corner right there. So here's where you just build up the color intensity, like depending on how you want it. I'm just gonna keep on going back and forth blending. There I go, saying that word again. With the Wet n Wild brush again, I'm going to dip into Twinkle and kind of blend out any harsh edges that Moony could have left behind. That's kind of how you intensify the smokiness and the smoky eye. I'm picking up a new Wet n Wild, well, not so new, Wet n Wild fluffy brush. One can never have too many fluffy brushes. I'm going to go back and forth with the shade Moony to intensify that smoky effect. So once I've reached like that level of intensity, the intensity that I want, I'm just gonna pack on the color Moony on that outer corner. So I'm gonna keep blending out Moony on my outer corner, and I'm gonna slightly drag it down to my inner corner because you don't want like that patch of color just on that outer corner. You kind of want everything to come together, so just blend it all together. So with that same Morphe M421 that I used to carve out my brows, I'm going to carve out my crease. And each eye shape is different. Your eyes might be completely different from mine. This is just what works for my eyes. As you can see, just follow a straight line, or try to keep it straight across your crease. Carved out your crease, I grabbed this flat Wet n Wild with the MAC Fix Plus. Whenever you're using a shimmer, you don't always have to spray it, but I just do it because it intensifies the shimmer shade. I'm gonna pick up the shade Shooting Star on the Dream Street ColourPop palette. I'm gonna grab Shooting Star and just pack that all over my lid, wherever you kind of like cut the crease up. It's not my greatest work. I'm still learning, as you can see. So, I mean, if there are any other looks that you would like me to do, just let me know. I'm using this e.l.f. Dense Blending Brush, and I'm picking up the shade Moony. I'm tapping out any excess powder that I do not need, and I'm just dabbing it out on the outer edge. I'm going to go back and blend that in as well, but I'm just trying to pack on some more color to the outer corner. I'm going to go in with this pencil shaped Morphe brush. As you can see, it wasn't my cleanest cut, but the best part about makeup is that you can always clean up your mistakes. I'm going to grab Moony and just kind of blend in at that top right there where you kind of see it's not the best clean cut crease. The Morphe M326 brush, I'm going to dip into Spark, and I'm going to highlight that underbrow area and the inner corner. So Spark is such a gorgeous shimmer shade, but it didn't really give me the highlight that I was looking for. So I'm just going to top it off and add Jeffree Star's Siberian Gold. Please keep record of how many times I say so and like. I'm going to be using, up next, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Optical Illusional Complexion Primer. I just use about 2 pumps, and that kind of covers my whole face. For foundation today, I'm going to be using my favorite foundation, the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter in the shade 240. I normally use like 1 pump per side of the face, so 2 pumps I guess you would say, and I just dot it the best way I can. As you can see, my claws get in the way. I try to dot it. I do 1/2 of the face, so just stick to dotting one side of the face. With my all-time favorite, the Morphe Y6 brush, I'm just going to blend in that foundation. I'm going to try to spread it out as much as I can. I don't know if you guys have any issues getting in between that like nose area. So for that little section where my like nose rings are, I'm going to use this small little Morphe brush. It's another little mini foundation brush. It came in a set, so I don't really know what's the name of it, but I'm just gonna blend out right there the little nose area and finish off the forehead. Once I've blended most of it out, I'm gonna use this Real Technique sponge to finish blending, giving me that flawless look. So in case like the brush has left any streakiness, that's just gonna blend it out perfectly. For concealer today, I'm going to be using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Medium Dark 30. What I normally do is I try to draw an upside down triangle, and then I'm going to grab this Purple Mini Real Technique sponge and blend that out. Okay, so once both sides are evenly blended, it's time to set that under eye, and I'm gonna use the Airspun Loose Face Powder. This next step is really optional. This is what you would consider baking. You're gonna grab that damp Real Techniques Purple Mini Sponge and just cake that powder on underneath your eye, and that's gonna set your concealer and bake. While my under eye is baking, I'm going to grab the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. Since I was not blessed with the perfect jawline, I'm going to use this angle brush that you see right here to carve out the cheekbones that baby Jesus didn't give me. I'm going to mix Shadow Play and Subconscious, which is the two left shades at the bottom. So I'm going to pick up just a little product and build it up to carve out my cheekbones. It's best when you do a 3 and you start off at your forehead and you outline your cheekbone and then your jawline in that shape of a 3. Up next with a Morphe Y11, you're going to dust off all that excess powder and kind of like wherever you didn't powder your face, just simply brush some on top of that to set your foundation. Today I'm setting my face with the MAC Fix Plus. I normally do like 1 or 2 pumps, and then I use the Real Technique sponge to kind of pack in that spray so to make sure that it absorbs and like my face doesn't look so cakey. Time for my favorite part, the highlight. I have 2 that I want to use, but I think I'm going to go with a Too Faced one. Let's just take a quick second to admire these beauties because I love them both. So I'm using the Too Faced Love Light You Light Up My Life with a Morphe 510, and you're just gonna simply glide that on your cheekbone. As you can see, I'm trying to look like a glazed donut. Today for lips, I'm gonna be using the Ultra Satin Lip from ColourPop in the shade Trip. Since I can't afford lip fillers, I'm just kidding. I just love the way that full lip looks. So I always just like overdraw my lip a little bit. Just practice makes perfect. You will get it on the first try. You will not. Just keep practicing and you're going to achieve like that fuller lip look that I go for at least. I'm going for that ombre effect, so I'm going to be using this Tarte liquid lipstick in the shade Birthday Suit, and I'm just going to put a little bit towards the center of my lips, and I'm going to be using my finger to kind of like blend that out so you can see like the difference that it's going to make. It's going to make your lip look a lot more like fuller. Time for everyone's favorite part, lashes. I'm using the Kiss Strip Lash. I'm gonna apply it like on the lash band. I'm gonna just put a little bit more on the inner and outer part of the lash. I went ahead and popped on the lashes because I'm still trying to learn how to put my lashes on while filming. For my waterline, I'm gonna be using the ColourPop gel liner in the shade Show Me. Now for my under eye, I'm going to dip into Shooting Star with the Morphe nameless brush because it comes in a pack. I don't know the name. that same brush, I'm gonna dip into Water Bear, that orangey shade, and just kind of blend and connect like the outer to the inner, if that makes any sense. Here's the finished look, y'all. Let me tell you, it's not as easy as it looks, but I don't think I did that bad for my first video. Just let me know what y'all think.